It's always nice to see local things do well, and here's one case in point. The shop premises behind me, opposite the Half Moon and Star in Walton, are just being taken over by Felixstowe's own local charity. That's Basic Life Charity, which has had a shop in the town for about 10 years now. Basic Life is a very unusual charity insofar as each of their now 2 shops actually collects goods, sells them, and provides the money back to the local community. So the whole thing is within our own town and within our own area now. Unlike some of the huge charities that we have in the High Street and Hamilton Road, the money that's collected here goes purely back into Felixstowe's needs, not into the needs of the rest of the country or into some enormous black hole.
The starting day was November the 8th, 2000. It was very, very nervous day, but it was great. We had customers come in straight away. We made money on that day, and from there on it's just grown and grown and grown. It's been fantastic.
You moved into this shop here in Orwell Road, didn't you?
October the 22nd, about 6 years ago.
That must have been quite a step coming into the town centre.
Yeah, it was. But in the long run, it's been better because we get more customers.
Right.
Because out near Morrison's, it was out in the sticks a bit. So we just had the estates. But that was still good. And now it's very busy. I'm run off my feet.
The shop is making a serious income for the charity now, isn't it?
It is. We've helped so many people. And from sort of like day one, you think, are we doing the right thing? Are we not? And it's just worked out that we are.
Right. Where are you going to go next? Because you're now having a new shop as well. Are you going to be connected with that yourself to run? Or?
I'm leaving that to Graham.
Right.
But obviously I will have my say.
I wrote to Safeway as they were and said, I noticed they had a unit next to the supermarket and said, can we have it for free? And amazingly they said yes for 6 months. So we opened up a shop just as something to do really, with the idea of helping people with dropping in to say hello and being a sociable thing really. And we then started selling goods and it just took off from there. And there's two groups of people we should thank really for the success over the years. Firstly, it's the volunteers who've given all their time and effort to help make it a success. And secondly, the people of Felixstowe who've donated their goods and the people who've come in and bought them. It's just an on-rolling thing which has worked really well.
The reason I like the charity a lot is because it's a local charity that takes stuff in from local people, sells it to local people and gives the proceeds to other local people.
Well, that's the whole idea really. Although we have got a separate fund for national things and even international things, the shop proceeds are very strictly restricted to Felixstowe, and the people can go and touch the various things that we've bought. There's stuff at Central Surgery and Haven Health. And there's lots of individual needs which we've met. Although Felixstowe seems like an affluent place and it's a lovely place to live, there's lots of real issues and people who struggle with different issues, and we've been able to help quite a few people over the years.
Now, after the 11 years, you're actually adding to your shop, so you're putting in a completely new shop.
Yeah, it's been an idea for a while because the shop is quite restricted for space and storage, and the people are so generous donating goods that we needed somewhere else, and we've thought about different areas of Felixstowe or even Ipswich. But we became aware that a shop's going to become vacant very quickly in Walton, and I thought it's a good idea. It's got more space, we can store goods, and I'd like the proceeds from that shop, if the people from Walton and Trimley support us, as I know they will, we can help people in the Walton and Trimleys, and that will make this shop only have Felixstowe to provide for, so it brings this back in a little bit, and then we've got an outreach in Walton and Trimley. And we'd also like to do other things, other than we're not just a shop. People come in here for a chat, we get to know people, and maybe in the Walton shop we might have I don't know, meeting groups for people with anxiety, depression, whatever, different issues, so we can do more than just sell goods, because we're about much more than that really.
Tell us a little bit, and only just a little tiny bit, about the kind of other angle, which is the national and international aspect, where you get money from businesses.
Okay. I had a shipping company for a number of years, and we put money into a central account, and we've helped things like we gave £6,000 to the DEC Tsunami Fund. We pay for midwives to be trained in Nepal. We pay for various Felixstowe people to go off on different missions to Africa predominantly. We help pay for somebody to go to the Lebanon to build an orphanage for both Muslim and Christian children to grow up together, which I think is quite a nice concept, and various things like that. But that's totally separate. Let me emphasise that to the Felixstowe shop, which is restricted to Felixstowe people.
So all the money, I want to say this again, so all the money that you raise in each shop is going to go to the area in which the shop lives.
Yeah, the whole concept is that you have a local traditional charity shop. We keep the prices low because the goods have been donated after all. So we're not going to be at the commercial price or slightly below it like some other charities might be. We're going to keep the prices low. All dresses, for example, are one price, and you might go in there and find a designer label, or you might find a less than that, but they're all going to be one price, so people can genuinely find a bargain. We're not going to be at the commercial rate. We're going to keep things cheap and make it a traditional charity shop where the proceeds go to the local people who after all have donated the goods. It's just a very, very simple concept, and thankfully for the last dozen years or whatever, it's worked really well.
What sort of staffing arrangements? Are you moving staff from here, or have you got new volunteers coming up?
Some of the staff are moving over. They do maybe one day a week here, and they said they'll give a second day to the other shop. I'll be based there mainly, but I'm sure we'll get some more volunteers, and if anybody wants to volunteer, they can contact us via our website, which I'm sure Chris is putting on the screen right here, and or email us, and we'll get back to you. And if anybody wants to make an application for donations, which is very important, obviously that's what it's all about. If you come into the shop, we can get an application form here, or if you email us, we'll get back to you with an application form.
Okay. So if you're local, you may qualify if you need some help in your life.
Absolutely. With it being the charity being called Basic, we'll pay for basic needs. We're not going to obviously furnish someone's house because they fancy it being redone, but if you've got a real need, it will go to a group of people who discuss whether it's valid or not, and if it is, then we will act as quickly as possible to meet that need.